Have you ever noticed that sometimes when you're trying to speak English, you kind of hit a wall?
Yeah,
It's like you can't think fast enough.
right.
And you're always a couple steps behind.
For sure.
And we're going to dive into that today.
Okay.
We're going to look at learning to think in English
Oh.
because we found this really cool YouTube video from English Unlocked,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all about kind of unlocking English thinking,
Okay.
not just memorizing words, but
Right.
actually being able to think in the language.
Yeah, that's so
And
important.
it seems really powerful.
It is. It really is a game changer because
Yeah.
you can imagine if you're trying to have a conversation, but you're translating every thought in your head.
It's
Like,
exhausting.
It's like running a marathon with ankle weights on,
Exactly.
going back and forth and back and away, and it just slows you down.
It's like trying to drive with a parking brake on.
Yeah, exactly. You can't speed up.
You can't be spontaneous.
Exactly. So how
Yeah.
do we train our brains? Well, to think in English.
Think about how a computer processes language.
Okay.
It doesn't translate, right?
Uh-huh.
It uses algorithms, and it understands the meaning directly.
Okay.
And so English Unlocked suggests that we can actually train our brains to do something similar.
Interesting.
So it's rewiring those neural pathways to bypass translation and just engage directly with the English language.
So less like a dictionary and more like
Yeah,
building a whole new operating system for English.
exactly.
How do we get started?
Well,
Our listeners are dying to know.
yeah, they probably are.
What can they do right now?
So one technique that I thought was really interesting was
Okay.
describing your day in English.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But not all the time.
But the idea is that you make a conscious effort as you go about your day
Okay.
to narrate your action and your thoughts, your feelings in English.
So like instead of just saying,
Right.
I'm hungry,
Yeah,
I'm feeling peckish, or
Right, or I'm starving, I'm famished.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Training your brain.
So you're not just labeling objects, you're actually like
Exactly.
expressing your feelings in English.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. What else? Another technique is shadowing.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
So you listen to native speakers
Okay.
and you try to mimic their pronunciation and intonation, almost like you're their shadow.
Isn't that more for pronunciation though?
It's for both.
Okay.
Because by mimicking,
Okay.
you're internalizing the rhythms and the patterns of English,
Okay.
which helps your brain to just process the language more naturally.
It's like learning to dance by
Yeah.
following someone else's steps.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you're not just learning the steps, you're learning the musicality,
Yes.
the flow.
Exactly. And it becomes less about conscious effort and more about instinct.
So we've got describing your day,
Mm-hmm.
shadowing,
Yeah.
anything else.
Don't underestimate the power of self-talk.
Self-talk.
Have conversations with yourself in English.
Okay.
Even if it feels silly.
All right.
Ask yourself questions, debate different viewpoints.
So like we're building this little English-speaking world inside our heads.
You got it.
And the more time we spend there,
Yeah.
the more naturally we'll start to think in English.
It's like in anything else. The more you practice, the easier it becomes.
Yeah, so it's not just about fluency, it's about shifting our entire mindset
It is.
so that we think in English.
It is.
Okay, so
I challenge you to become an observer of your own thoughts.
Okay.
When you find yourself translating, can you catch yourself and reframe that thought in English?
well, that's good.
Make English the default language of your mind.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for diving deep with us today.
You're welcome.
This has been really eye-opening.
Good.
And to our listeners out there,
Yes.
try out these techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Experiment.
Yeah.
See how they work for you.
Exactly.
And see if thinking in English can unlock
Yeah,
a whole new level of fluency for you.
absolutely.
Until next time.
See you later.